In the far north, where the cliffs meet the icy sea, stood a stone. It was darker than a starless night and older than any living memory. The Vikings called it the Black Stone, a silent witness to the ages. Legend whispered that any oath sworn upon it was not just a promise to mortals, but a pact made directly with the gods. It was a place of absolute truth, where lies were shattered and honor was forged. Our story begins as the shadow of war fell upon the land. A rival clan, their voices thick with suspicion, accused Eirik Stormborn's tribe of a grave betrayal breaking an ancient treaty. Tensions ran high, swords were sharpened, and the air smelled of impending conflict. It seemed blood would have to be spilled before any truth could be heard. In the midst of this rising storm, one man stepped forward. It was Eirik, his eyes as clear and steady as the northern sky. "I will swear the oath," he declared, his voice cutting through the clamor. "And I will stand by it." As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, Eirik walked alone to the cliffs. A fierce wind tore at his cloak, whipping it around him like a battle standard. Below, the waves crashed against the rocks, their roars sounding like angry giants. The world felt raw, primal, and ancient. Eirik reached the black stone, its surface cold and unyielding. He placed his hand upon it, feeling a strange hum of power vibrate through his bones. Then he spoke, his voice clear and unwavering against the wind's howl. "I have taken no land by deceit. I have broken no bond in secret. If I lie, let the sea claim me." The words hung in the air for a moment, and then the impossible happened. The black stone cracked. A deep fissure split its surface, not with a sound, but with a sudden, chilling silence. From this crack, a shadow began to rise. It coiled and twisted, taking the shape of a warrior forged from smoke and stone. This was the Oath Warden, an ancient and merciless entity summoned to judge the truth of Eirik's words. It held a blade made not of steel, but of pure darkness. The shadow warrior's voice was the grinding of rock on rock. "Stand," it commanded. Eirik did not flinch. He did not move. He stood his ground, his hand still resting on the stone. The Oath Warden raised its dark blade and struck. Pain, white-hot and searing, ripped through Eirik's body. It felt like fire coursing through his veins, but he did not cry out. He simply endured. The Oath Warden was not testing his strength, but the very fabric of his truth. It struck again, and then again. With each blow that Eirik withstood, a strange thing occurred. The shadow figure, this embodiment of judgment, began to weaken. Its form flickered, its dark blade losing its edge. The truth in Eirik's heart was a light that the darkness could not endure. Finally, after a trial that felt like an eternity, the Oath Warden let out a silent scream. It shattered, dissolving into a cloud of ash and smoke, which the relentless wind immediately scattered across the sea. The black stone fell silent once more, its crack sealing as if it had never been broken. When Eirik returned to the encampment, he was bloodied and bruised, but he was standing tall. His clothes were torn, his body a map of the ordeal he had just faced, but his spirit was unbroken. Seeing him, both his own tribe and the rival clan fell silent. No words were needed. They understood. No lie, no matter how cleverly crafted, could have survived such a trial. The chief of the rival clan, the man who had made the accusation, slowly walked forward. He looked at Eirik at the proof of his integrity written in his wounds, and bowed his head in respect. "Your word is iron," he said, his voice filled with awe. Eirik, his breath still heavy, offered a simple reply. "Then let it build peace," and so the threat of war vanished. It wasn't driven away by the clash of steel or the might of armies, but by the courage of one man whose honor proved to be heavier and stronger than any sword. Eirik Stormborn's legend was born, a reminder that the greatest strength is not in conquest, but in unwavering truth. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more tales of legend and lore.